across the globe. More Nigerian youth, he says, are already making waves in the world of ICT and contributing to national and global economy.
We intend to create a reservoir of human capacity in technology that can be exported internationally. Nigeria can lead India as a market for technology and innovation talent.
The presence of the Ministers of Communication, Youth and Sports, Labor and Employment, and that of Information, as observed, is an evidence of the federal government's commitment to its programs on youth development and making it contribute to nation building.
The ministry will be working very closely with the Ministry of Education to foster digital literacy content in our national curriculum, encourage the delivery of education via the usage of smart devices, promote e-content, as well as increase the uptake of ICT as a subject.
Although young people are excellent navigators of the web, one of the biggest challenges this generation must collectively overcome is developing high-tech skills for commercial uses.
Every sector of this economy has to go digital to be in tune with the global standards.
It is expected that with trainings such as this that would unlock potential, Oluchi and other Nigerian youth would be able to contribute positively to government's drive to diversifying the Nigerian economy. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, Nta News.
Nigeria and the United Kingdom have signed a memorandum of understanding on the modalities of repatriating stolen funds to Nigeria. The signing was done by Nigeria's Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and the United Kingdom Deputy Home Secretary, Mr. Robert Goodwill. Femi Okewo has the report.
Mr. Robert Goodwill, signing on behalf of the United Kingdom, and Abubakar Malami, Minister of Justice, on behalf of Nigeria, both said that the MOU was a sign of their nation's commitment to ensuring that beneficial owners of assets is made available to the relevant authorities so that the real owners of assets held in the United Kingdom are known.
My government is fully committed to the return of all funds looted from the Nigerian state, and we're keen to do this as soon as the necessary legal processes allow.
I want to use this opportunity to assure Nigerians that nobody will steal or filter funds that is meant for the people of Nigeria. I want to further assure that the funds that will eventually be repatriated back to Nigeria will be accordingly utilized in a proper and decent manner in line with the budgetary provisions of our laws.
The signing of this memorandum of understanding is a result of some of the international shuttles of President Muhammadu Buhari and a direct reward of the promise made at the London Anti-Corruption Summit in May. From the Federal Ministry of Justice, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
The federal government has again stressed its commitment towards achieving standardization in the building industry and the creation of opportunities for indigenous builders, artisans, and tradesmen. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, stated this after interacting with the rescue team at the side of the collapsed building in Gwarimpa, Abuja. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh reports.
The use of substandard materials, quirks, and cutting corners in erecting structures have always been the major reasons for structural collapse in Nigeria. This results not only in loss of property but also lives where the structure is occupied. The minister was told at the site of the Gwarimpa building collapse that rescue work is still ongoing while investigation into the cause of the collapse has already commenced.
It is believed that there may be some people still trapped there. We will wait for the result of the investigation.
The minister also interacted with private developers at the Brick City in Kubwa and officials of 2 construction firms in Idu.
A substantial number of people are displaced in the northern part of our country. So we're also looking at what strategic partnerships we can develop here to quickly go and attend to those people. Instead of waiting for foreigners to bring tents to us, we must develop our own capacity to respond to emergencies locally.
Apart from interacting with the private firms, the visit is also aimed at strengthening the private-public partnership structure of the present administration through the use of made-in-Nigeria building materials. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello has directed the FCT Development Control Department to henceforth take full responsibility for all building plan approvals, construction and supervision across the territory in accordance with the extant regulations. It is in reaction to the building collapse in Gwadampa, Abuja. Nta Network reports.
The FCT minister, who described the latest building collapse as unfortunate, said it is an opportunity to streamline the functions of relevant government agencies. He pointed out that under Section 7 of the FCT Act of 1976, no person or body is authorized to carry out any development within the FCT without the written approval of the FCT Department of Development Control.
Agencies of government maybe sometimes operate at cross purposes. And don't forget that FCT standards are also part of a nationally recognized standards, and nationally recognized standards are also part of internationally recognized standards. It's basically the standard setting is clear.
While sympathizing with victims of the incident, the minister said the FCT administration will take strict measures henceforth to enforce building standards to curb the menace of building collapse in the nation's capital. In Abuja, Nta Network, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the lifeless body of one of the remaining two workers trapped in the rubble of the collapsed four-story building in Gwadampa, Abuja, has been found. This followed ongoing search and rescue efforts by the combined agencies that had earlier rescued alive 6 out of the 8 persons that were trapped. Works correspondent Mohammed Abdul Qadri has an update.
We issued stop work. Sadly, this one happened.
FHA has refused to always bring their drawings for vetting.
That was on-the-spot reactions of the key players in emergency management when the building gave way.
That night, I was just struggling to come out. I was digging block, breaking block. That is how I just survived.
Away from passing the buck or trading blames among coordinating agencies in the building sector, did the collapsed structure pass integrity tests?
Maybe improper supervision or poor materials.
There's so much compromise. The standards and regulations of development.
Emergency management team at the site said there is improved synergy in managing the situation.
And we deployed immediately men and facility.
We're providing medical assistance.
While the site is still undergoing observations and tests to ascertain the causes that triggered the collapse of the structure, the process is ongoing to recover the body of the 8th person enclosed in the rubble.
It will be recalled that similar collapse site was recorded on 28th of August 2008 in Utako, Abuja. But the issue is, what is the way out of this problem? Your guess is as good as mine. From the collapse site, Gwadampa, Abuja, Muhammad Abdul Qadri, NTA News.
Information just reaching us now says the FCT National Emergency Management Agency has ended the rescue operation with the recovery of the body of the remaining trapped victim. Moving on, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has assured Sudan of Nigeria's readiness to explore stronger relationship in the area of arts and culture. The minister stated this in Abuja when he received the Sudanese ambassador to Nigeria, Ibrahim Bushra Ali. Anthony Fosun has the report.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, told the visiting ambassador that Nigeria is endowed with abundant talents in the creative industry. Therefore, it has the capacity to assist Sudan to develop its creative industry.
This is one area I believe that we can strengthen our relationship. And when you strengthen your relationship in the area of culture, not only does it bring the two countries together better, it also creates a very strong economy for both countries.
The minister said the relationship between Nigeria and Sudan dates back several years. Therefore, it is high time bilateral relationships be divorced from commerce and hinged on culture and tourism, which has human activities as its main driver. Recalling the long-time relationship that exists between Nigeria and Sudan, the Sudanese ambassador to Nigeria Ibrahim Bushra Ali recounted how Sudanese of Nigerian extraction are playing central roles in the development of Sudan, saying there are several of Nigerians who are today serving in the Sudanese government. He said it is heartwarming that Nigeria and Sudan, even though do not share border, the bond that exists between the two countries is beyond nations that share a common border.
Yes, it is true that we may be far as distance is concerned. We are not neighbors, but we are strongly, connected and linked by the kinship and blood relationship.
He also appealed for more cooperation that will foster economic growth among the two nations. To this end, the ambassador has assured the minister that his country will participate fully in the upcoming Abuja Carnival slated for November. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
1 year after the establishment of the multinational joint task force, it is reported to have succeeded in returning peace and stability along border towns in member nations that were infested by Boko Haram.
Apart from Nigeria, the other countries are also expected to contribute their own quota financially.
At the headquarters of the Joint Task Force, the commander of the force said he met a functional enhanced system of operation.
Arrived here and continued consolidating on the good efforts of my predecessors in making the force a truly harmonized and combat-efficient force.
The visit to Nigeria's Army Chief is homecoming, being the pioneer force commander of the formation. From the headquarters of the multinational joint task force in N'Djamena, Chad, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force says it has destroyed a new Boko Haram terrorist camp located between Malam Fatori and Kangarawa in northern Borno State. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Ayodele Famuyiwa, announced that the new camp is about 6 kilometers away from a location which the Nigerian Air Force had attacked on the 19th of August, killing about 300 insurgents. Group Captain Famuyiwa says the night operation conducted by the Nigerian Air Force on Sunday is a follow-up to the post-strike battle damage assessment, which revealed that the surviving terrorists from the 19th August attack had converged at the new location. The statement further added that the Nigerian Air Force Alpha jets also repelled an attack by Boko Haram terrorists on troops of the Nigerian Army 153 Battalion who are on patrol at Alalumshi on Saturday, 27th of August, just about 4 kilometers from Marte. The milestone recorded in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria is as a result of the political will by the Buhari administration. Adebola Brookston Sunday reports that this was the submission of speakers at a book launch titled Boko Haram, a charade versus the reality.
Speakers at the book presentation say the successful decimation of the Boko Haram insurgents confirms one of President Buhari's campaign promises. Elder statesman Maitama Sule and other leaders from the north described the book as a manual towards a lasting solution to the security challenges facing the nation.
This book has opened up a window for this government and for all authorities to be able to understand and address the problem adequately.
The coming of the current regime, and I think they have done extremely credibly well. The morale of the armed forces is very high.
The author, who has written 5 books in different fields, speaks on the significance of the book to national security.
I bet anybody that reads this book will get very much educated about who these people are, why they are doing it, where they're coming from, where is the strength.
The book, Boko Haram, The Charade versus the Reality, is a 15-chapter, 305-page book. In Abuja, Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
A group of ex-militants from the Niger Delta under the aegis of the Association of Third Phase Ex-Militants has called on the federal government to properly document all ex-militants in the Niger Delta as a way of addressing the restiveness in the region. Chairman of the association, Wisdom Ibeno Rufus, stated this at a media briefing in Abuja. Mitari Ikben has details.
These ex-Niger Delta militants said they embraced the amnesty offered by the federal government in 2011. They, however, claim that most of their fellow ex-militants numbering about 10,000, have not been captured in the amnesty program.
The federal government should carry out an immediate probe on the operation of the amnesty office with the aims of prosecuting all those culpable in the diversion and all that is due to members of the Third Phase ex-militants.
The group noted that apart from regular payment of their disarmament allowances, the federal government should properly reorientate and reform all ex-militants with a view to integrating them fully into the society. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use the devices with iOS. Up ahead, Modu Sharif faction of the PDP wants reconstitution of the party's Board of Trustees. Details after this break.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Calling alone isn't such a bad idea, but imagine how much fun you'll have when you call your peeps across all networks for only 11 kobo per second. Or even better, you could turn up the place with 1 gigabyte for just 500 naira to blaze tracks on tracks on tracks with your squad. And that ain't nothing. With 50 naira only for 1.5 gigabyte, you can share the dopest flicks with your day ones. And keep the selfies trending all week long. Still wondering why the flyers keep on fleek on Airtel Smart Drive? Dial star 312 hash to find out.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You get 3 kinds of moms. The paranoid mom, the cautious mom, and the Dettol mom. She only trusts Dettol antiseptic liquid to protect her family from up to 100 illness-causing germs, and it's recommended for cuts and scrapes, which is why you can worry less and love more. Don't just be any mom, be a Dettol mom.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability, available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Koscharis Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
Discover the liquid freshness of Center Fresh chewing gum that you feel. And others too. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
Do you know that 2.5 million children in Nigeria are malnourished and about 500,000 are likely to die yearly if nothing is done? To combat this public health emergency, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammad Buhari initiated Get Involved, a component of a future assured project to fight malnutrition in children, especially those at the internally displaced people's camp. The launch of the Get Involved project is an opportunity for all Nigerians to lend their support to this noble cause. The pre-launch of Get Involved project is from 29th August to 2nd September 2016. Time 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Launching holds on Saturday, 3rd of September 2016. Time 10 a.m. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. For more details, email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Get involved and save the life of a Nigerian child today.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture immediately and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. You can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you for remaining with Nta Network News. As the presentation of the Get Involved program enters its second day, wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, has advocated for the involvement of well-meaning Nigerians and other corporate organizations in an effort to save the lives of more Nigerian children. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir has the report.
Mrs. Buhari, who was accompanied by the wives of the governors and the wives of the service chiefs in monitoring the progress of the exercise, described the turnout as impressive. She therefore stressed the need for everyone to remain a stakeholder. The development, she said, will not only enhance the quality of feeding amongst children in Nigeria, but will also save their lives and improve the health of the nation.
So far, so good. The patronage is quite encouraging. This is the time for all Nigerians to get involved to help the less privileged people in Nigeria.
The governors of Kebbi, Imo, and the Minister of Health assured their commitment in supporting the project to tackle the problem of malnutrition in the country.
Everyone should get involved, irrespective of political parties, religion, tribe.
We can only change society if we get involved in various ways, and this demonstrates that everyone can do something.
All of us must be involved, from finance, providing the resources, to agriculture, providing the food, government putting in place the right policies, health, looking into the various dimensions and so on. So all of us must work together.
There is a need for concerted efforts to be mounted, and that's why we support such initiatives.
The wives of the governors promised to remain key stakeholders in the promotion of lives of malnourished children and other vulnerable groups in the society.
She has a passion for the downtrodden, she has a passion for the Nigerian child, the Nigerian woman, and these projects will go places.
By coming in here and seeing the display of these products, this will help to, promote the life of the Nigerian women and the children that are suffering with malnutrition.
We need to love ourselves, we need to save humanity, and we need to support the wife of the president.
They therefore called for serious intervention of all stakeholders in addressing the challenge of malnutrition in Nigeria. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The Nigerian prison system has continued to grapple with major challenges occasioned by overcrowding and inadequate facilities. Towards finding solutions to these challenges, a national workshop on effective implementation of alternatives to imprisonment opened in Abuja in accordance with the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Ifeanyi Okafor has the report.
The National Conference on Effective Implementation of Non-Custodial Measures in Nigeria is a practical step towards utilizing a set of penal sanctions that are primarily designed for first offenders in minor crimes or special categories of prisoners.
About 70% of our prison inmates are those awaiting trials. About 30% are those who are convicted.
We know we have challenges of residence, technology of tracking people.
Case studies of alternatives to imprisonment and lessons from other countries, as well as reports which dwelt on developing strategies for creating safer communities, reduction of offending behavior through community corrections, featured in the workshop.
We must begin to build a society where someone is told to report from home to go and sweep or wash a toilet, and he comes as part of the, if you say, corrective measure.
The workshop further appraised the opportunities as well as technological challenges in demography with a view to developing guidelines and an action plan to ensure effective implementation of the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria and to track compliance level across states and nationally. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
To politics now. In another twist to the leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the factional group under Senator Ali Modu Sharif has called for the immediate reconstitution of the party's Board of Trustees due to what it calls the board's alliance with the Ahmed Magafri Committee.
The position of the Sharif factional group comes less than 24 hours after the Board of Trustees meeting, which passed vote of confidence on the caretaker committee. The BOT also agreed for the convention to hold in Abuja. In its reaction, however, the factional group kicked against the BOT position, which is said is like recognizing illegality. The group said it will only sheathe its sword when Senator Sharif is recognized to convene a National Executive Committee meeting.
The agreements we had is that Sharif should chair a National Executive Committee meeting where McAfee will attend as a member of the BOT. At the meeting, a chairman or convention committee will be agreed upon. The leadership of the Board of Trustees must immediately be
processes. A call was also made for an independent panel of inquiry to undertake a comprehensive review and audit of constituency projects and constituency offices between 2004 and 2016 to determine gaps in the Fiscal Responsibility Act and levels of compliance. In Abuja, Dennis Adignoye, NTA News.
For the latest on power situation at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, let's join Vera with these and other stories from our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Vera. Over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Electricity supply has been restored at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, following a power outage which occurred over the weekend. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has assured the traveling public that adequate measures have been put in place to forestall a future occurrence. Flight operations were disrupted for 2 days at the international terminal of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, following power outage. This development affected international operations of airlines flying in and out of the airport, forcing the passengers to use ramps rather than the tarmac fingers for boarding and disembarking. However, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria General Manager Corporate Affairs Yakubu Dati, in a statement, said the power surge from the Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN, adversely affected the K16 transformer that serves the E-wing air bridges and rendered them unserviceable. This development, is said, affected operations of some departing flights, coupled with the heavy rainfall, which further delayed attempts by engineers to effect repairs immediately. However, he said normal flight operations have since resumed at the airport. While apologizing to passengers, airlines and the general public for the inconveniences caused by the interruption, The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria assures airport users of safety and security at the nation's airports. The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is leaving nothing to chance to remain a foremost television station as the nation concludes arrangement for the June 2017 digital switchover date. Amechi Piles reports that NTA's Executive Director of Marketing, Nta Olufade, gave this assurance at an interactive forum with some advertising agencies in Lagos.
It was a strategic, interactive and fact-finding meeting between some officials of the NTA led by Executive Director, Marketing, Nta Olufade, and representatives of some advertising agencies. The platform, among others, provided the Executive Director, Marketing, an opportunity to showcase NTA's active 8 digital channels. Given NTA's wide reach and dedicated human resource, Mrs. Nta Olufade told the practitioners that NTA has been repositioned and remains the station to beat.
Entertainment, knowledge, News 24, sports, parliament, the language channels. It will be these channels that will be on the platform when we eventually switch over.
The advertisers were unanimous in their submissions that NTA remains the largest television network, but must develop contents that will not only expand its viewership and promote unity, but also promote professionalism in the industry.
Very delighted with the new approach by the new management. NTA digitizing, the quality of programs are improving, and the advertisers will definitely come back.
They need to step up their game by producing quality, creative content. And that's the thing. Once your content is good, even if you don't like NTA, our clients will force us to go there.
The Nigerian Television Authority, they added, must embrace modern trends in data collection, invoicing, and production services. The meeting is part of activities by the NTA to reposition Africa's largest television network ahead of the digital transition next year. In Lagos, Amechi Piles, NTA News.
You're still on to the NTA Network news from the Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this time out. Stay tuned.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account. It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Join Glow to jollificate with 8 times the value on every recharge, plus free data to give. Every recharge allows data and voice.
The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
The management of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, in a bid to conclude the verification exercise of its 2006 and 2007 eligible retired employees who are yet to be verified, have been given a period of 3 months to complete the verification exercise. Please refer to Guardian, Leadership and the Nation newspapers of Wednesday, 31st of August 2016 for further details. Signed, Management.
Chilling alone isn't such a bad idea, but imagine how much fun you'll have when you call your peeps across all networks for only 11 kobo per second. Or even better, you could turn up the place with 1 gigabyte for just 500 naira to blaze tracks on tracks on tracks with your squad. And that ain't nothing. With 50 naira only for 1.5 gigabyte, you can share the dopest flicks with your day ones. And keep the selfies trending all week long. Still wondering why the flyer speeds are on fleek on Airtel Smart Drive? Dial *312# to find out.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Go back to our Abuja studios on Nta Network News. In business, there are growing concerns that it's mounting over rising cases of electronic transaction frauds in Nigeria. Here's Chezele Mekie with business news.
A warm welcome to Business News. Electronic and online transactions have become an integral infrastructure of the Nigerian banking system, given its convenience, which has reduced transaction bottlenecks as it has helped in decongesting the banking halls. Yet this innovation has brought in its wake nightmares and pains for some customers who have had some sad experiences.
Message was sent to me. They say I should call so number. They say my ATM and account is that I have to call the number, then meet them.
Yes, I've been receiving the message from them several times, but I look at it as a fraud. I do not respond to them.
Ranging from card trapping to poor connectivity, and more worrisome is the fact that some hackers target customers' information to shortchange them. An IT expert says education and enlightenment is imperative.
Banks tell you they won't ask you for certain information about you. You need to be observant. The people who are trickish are looking for ways to be ahead of you.
The problem is basically based on the ignorance of the consumers. Then the issue of enlightenment, education, IT education is very fundamental. Before the bank, introduces a customer to electronic payment system, they must be taken through some level of education, because there is a dearth of IT education across the country.
I quite agree with you that enlightenment is key. And a quick look at closing figures on the Nigerian stock markets. That's our package. I am Chezele Mekie. Please stay tuned for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Chezele. The federal government has constituted an interministerial committee to work out modalities that will address frequent rejection of Nigerian produce at the international commodity markets. The European Union and the United Nations Development Organization, UNIDO, are supporting the project that is expected to further boost Nigeria's economy. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
In spite of the fact that Nigeria is among the world's largest producers of major agricultural commodities, the country is yet to make significant impacts in the international commodity market. It is observed that issues relating to quality, packaging, storage, and multiple certification of export produce from Nigeria are responsible for the development.
So the same standard that we applied in order to export to Europe should be the same standard also for Nigerian citizens.
Any commodity, any agricultural produce Nigeria intends or is putting for export should not be rejected.
Concerned over the continued fall in oil revenue and the need to generate revenue through agriculture, the federal government has adopted modalities that will ensure quality and standard of Nigerian agricultural produce for export.
We intend, through extension services, to teach farmers how to grow their crops and meet the finest standards available in the world. And we intend to begin the rejection right from the farm gate.
The outcome of the Inter-Ministerial Committee will be forwarded to the Federal Executive Council for implementation. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Nigeria's Civil Defense Corps destroys illegal petroleum products in Port Harcourt. Mina has these and more from our Port Harcourt Network Center. Hello, Mina, over to you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. The Rivers State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has destroyed some illegally refined petroleum products at Nembe Waterside, Port Harcourt. Vivian Ezadefe has more on that report.
Expressed displeasure at the rate of illegal refining of petroleum products in the state, with attendant consequences on the lives of the people, as witnessed in Port Harcourt recently. Products destroyed include PMS, diesel, and kerosene. 18 persons were also apprehended for their alleged involvement in the sales and distribution of these illegal products.
We, as an agency that is saddled with the responsibility of checkmating these activities of illegal bunkers, this is one of the ones that we have located, and we plan to do all that. We have a right to protect the innocent members of this public.
She appealed to the public to stop the purchase of illegal petroleum products, as those caught will face the full wrath of the law. In Port Harcourt, Vivian Ezadefe, NTA News.
And vocational training has been described as viable means of positively engaging the youths and to reduce crime in the society. The assertion came from the Nigerian young professionals while on tour of abandoned Port Harcourt Technical and Vocational Center. Chidebere Onya has a report.
Technical and Vocational Center was established in 2013 by the Rivers State government in collaboration with a German company for training in areas of metal works, welding, bricklaying, tiling, electrical installations, and sanitary installations. Inspecting the facilities at the center, Moses Siasia, chairman of the Nigerian Young Professional Forum, expressed concern at the level of youth involvement in committing crime in the state, stressing that such a well-equipped vocational training center is well-positioned to engage the youths in positive ventures.
In 6 months or in 1 year, somebody is trained here. He can also do a job that is befitting, a job that is satisfactory.
Head of Training and Welding of the center, Augustine Swoyesuku, noted that the training center is one of the best in the country, while urging the state government to revive the center to avoid a decay. In Port Harcourt, Chidebere Onya, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Port Harcourt. Muhammad is back to you for the rest of Network News.
Yeah. Nigerian pilgrims have been assured of better services from the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission as it plans a total overhaul of its operations. The Executive Secretary, Nta Network, said these at the flag-off of the 2016 Youth and Family Pilgrimage to Israel at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Lydia Bassi has the report.
Nta Network said the security and welfare of pilgrims was of topmost priority and also emphasized the importance of agriculture in the pilgrimage exercise.
I believe we can do far more than Israel. So Nigerians cannot go to Israel and come back the same anymore.
Amongst the pilgrims were those who were lucky winners of Support a Pilgrim to Israel, SAPTI.
Some people say that it's not real. I tell them that it's real. It's not false.
The Lord Almighty, who has been sending people to that place with a change, and He is going to meet me in the center of my need, and for me to come back and change my country.
I want to see all the things I've been reading about in the Bible.
I want to go and reconcile myself with all those things I've been reading in the Bible. I mean, to be able to strengthen myself spiritually.
The 2016 Youth and Family Pilgrimage to Israel will last 8 days. Lydia Bassi, NTA News.
As the world marks the International Day of the Disappeared Persons, the International Committee of the Red Cross has called on the federal government to establish an effectively managed national database for missing persons in order to scale up humanitarian response. Head of the ICRC delegation, Carl Motley, stated this at the 2016 international event marking of the disappeared persons organized by the National Human Rights Commission in Abuja. Aliyu Tukur reports.
August 30th every year is set aside to commemorate and raise awareness on the missing persons as well as their families and calling for action. And this brings us to the makeshift secretariat of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign.
Today is exactly 869 days that our Chibok girls were abducted, and they are still missing, they are still in captivity.
People go missing every day in virtually every country in the world. These can either be as a result of armed conflict, other situations of violence, natural disasters, migration or detainees who are unable to reach out to their families. Although there is no specific data, it is said that over 2 million persons are internally displaced in Nigeria.
Important legal protection mechanisms have been put in place to prevent people from going missing.
Currently, both the ICRC and the Red Cross Society are accepting tracing requests from individuals who have been separated from family members as a result of the crisis in the Northeast.
We remind government's obligation to take steps for the purpose of finding disappeared persons or missing persons.
The 2016 commemoration was not without emotions, as there is the case of 4 missing officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Port Harcourt. The allegations came from one Mohammed Olabisi, who claimed that his son is among the missing officers.
They prayed to him that they are staying in the same room. Now called me. When he called me that we should continue praying you, since yesterday they couldn't see my son.
One sure thing about the disappeared persons, including the Chibok girls, is that they might be missing but not forgotten, as efforts are being made to ensure their safe return. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, Nta News.
Up ahead, global tidbits, sports, and the weather forecast for Wednesday. Don't go away.
Nigeria at the Rio 2016 Olympics, a post-mortem on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, incisive, informative, and educative. Don't miss it.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
On the international scene, Uganda has been ranked the 25th best place to live in the world. And Malawi's former justice minister gets 13 years jail term for conspiracy to murder ex-budget director. This and more on Global Tidbits with Nta Network.
According to a survey published by Expert Insider, Uganda is the 25th best place for expatriates to settle in the world and the first in Africa. And the provincial education minister covering Pretoria in South Africa has announced the suspension of Pretoria High School policy that mandates black schoolgirls to straighten their afro hair, which sparked protests on Monday. Also, an investigation into all racism claims have been ordered. In Somalia, a truck explosion near the president's residence and some hotels has killed at least 15 people, injuring over 20 others. In the meantime, the hope for agreeing to a transatlantic trade and investment partnership, TTIP, between Europe and America before United States election has been dashed. The French president and German economic minister announced that the deal aimed at reducing barriers in transatlantic trade and investment, which negotiations have been ongoing for 3 years now, will not be finalized this year. That's Global Tidbits. Nta Network, NTA News.
In sports, Victoria's Nigerian